Have you ever asked God for something and it seemed like it just wasn't happening? The waiting game just seemed like it was just too long. Let me let you in on something the Lord shared with me. I remember I was asking for a wife, wanted to be married, and I was looking at everybody else walk on the college campus, and they had somebody, but I had nobody. The Lord told me, He spoke to my spirit. He says, like a restaurant. I'm like, what? He says, like a restaurant. I really wasn't trying to hear it. And He said, it's like a restaurant. Think about a restaurant. When you go into a good restaurant, a good restaurant, first of all, has somebody to meet you at the door. And they escort you to your seat. And then as you sit there, they bring you maybe some bread, some water, something to hold you. A good restaurant. Or you could go to one of the fast food restaurants where you walk in and you just see a menu. I want the Coke with the big cheese sandwich and the double fry. And then 5 seconds later, you get this meal that's been thrown together. Really ain't got that much flavor to it. And, honestly, it's not going to hold you over. But let's go back to the other restaurant that gave you just bread and water. Some people would look at that bread and water and say, this ain't nothing. It's just the beginning of the process that you're going through to get what you're really looking for. So we're at that good restaurant. The waiter or waitress comes and they ask you, what would you like? And you say, well, I would like, I would like the filet mignon. That's what I would like. And I would like a baked potato and all that. They take that order. And again, they present you with this bread, making sure that you get this bread and this water in your system. Because they, first of all, don't want you to get too hungry. And second of all, they don't want you to leave. You're eating this bread while you're in this restaurant, drinking this water while you're in this restaurant. If you're not careful while you're doing this, you'll begin to look at other people's plates. And I've done it. You've been to a restaurant and you see other people's plates. Now, you know what you wanted. You know what you had a taste for. But because you saw what somebody else had, all of a sudden your taste buds change and you want what they got. And that's not what's for you, because honestly, you don't know what's in what they ordered. You could be allergic to it. It could be something that's deadly to you. It could be something that's not good at all. But because you looked at what somebody else said, you begin to want it. No, stick with the plan and wait on what you asked for. And I promise you it's going to be good. But not only do you have to worry about that, but then at some of these restaurants, they have these dessert trays that go by. And you have all kind of dessert. You got the vanilla, the strawberry, the mocha chocolate, the swirl, the caramel, the cheesecake. I mean, you got all kinds that's out there. If you're not careful, you'll be like, bring me the dessert tray before I even get my meal. Now, one thing about eating dessert before a meal is that sugar messes up your taste buds. Think about that. If you order a steak and potato and vegetables, it's a certain flavor that it has. If you put sugar before that, all those other flavors are not the same anymore. And you don't really appreciate what that cook did to that meat and to the rest of that, because you had to have you a sweet snack. I say all that to say, when the Lord got done with me, He told me, first of all, that cake dessert tray represented sex before marriage. You sitting out there wanting a snack and carrying on, and then you finally get your meal. That's why a lot of these folk can't appreciate their spouses, because they still got an old taste in their mouth. And then you got those out there that are impatient, and instead of going for what they ask for, they just take whatever comes next to the table because they don't want to wait no more. You have to wait on what God has for you. And you will be so happy if you learn how to wait. In conclusion, I asked God, I said, well, where is mine? He told me mine was marinating. At that time, I didn't know what marinating was. I said, what is she marinating in? He said, she's marinating in me. If you know anything about the marination process, you take the meat, you put it in a solution. However you want that meat to taste. If you want a strong garlic taste, you put in some kind of garlic marinade. If you want a certain kick to it, you put it, whatever you want it to taste like. That's what it'll taste like, because it absorbs that flavor. Now the meat a lot of times has to be beaten, has to be tenderized. And he let me know that that's what he was doing. But he said, one thing about this meat is it won't be underdone. It won't be overdone, but it'll be just right. An underdone piece of meat bleeds. I'm not about that. Overdone is tough. I don't want no tough woman. It's just hard. I don't want that. I want somebody that's just right. You ought to want what God has for you, and it'll be just right. Jesus is my cook. The Holy Spirit is my waiter. And God is the manager of the whole operation. Wait on him. He got something good for you. Do not get impatient. Keep your eyes on your stuff. And don't worry about what everybody else is doing. God got the best for you. God bless.